So this is OBS Studio. This is my typical setup. I'm going to go to our training scene that we have been working on the past few weeks too. Now, this is set to be for 720, which is good for meetings. And 720, by the way, refers to the height of the video. So it's 720 pixels high. Great for online meetings. I usually keep it set like this so that OBS doesn't have to resize anything, which takes up some processing time. There's already enough delay with trying to get out to the internet. I'm just trying to get reduce anything that might be a delay. So I've set this up to be 720 high and reduce the processing time on the computer and hopefully just speed it up just a tiny bit. Great for recording, and I went over last week. You start recording by clicking on Start Recording over here. However, if you want to record a good video that's going to be edited, a higher resolution, 720 is not the standard these days. A better standard, more likely, you'll find more likely needed is 1080, which is 1080 pixels high. So you want to change the settings in OBS, but if you change the setting in OBS, it screws up this 720 scene. But you can manage that with profiles. And here's where you find the profiles in the menu under profiles. And I'm going to change to my recording profile. Now you see now I'm at 1080 because I have OBS set up to work at 1080 high, but the scene I have is still 720, so it's much smaller than the settings that are in OBS and what would be saved when I start recording in OBS. So I'm actually also going to switch scenes. And this is my scene collection for 1080. And now the settings that I just switched to by changing profiles is 1080. So the or should I say that the scene I just switched to is 1080, which matches the size that OBS is recording. And I want to show you where these settings are. And what you have to do is create a new profile under New. We'll just do it right now. 1080 Training Profile. Okay. So now I have a new profile called 1080 Training, and this is the one I'm currently using, and I can change the settings that are stored with this profile. Go to Settings, Video, and you want to make sure the base canvas, that's this canvas size, is set to 1080. Now, we don't see a 1080. This is the preview, but it is actually working in 1080 behind the scenes. And the output, and that is what we're going to record to, we want to make sure this is also set to 1080. Click Apply, click OK. So that's great for the output. You also want to check under Settings, Output, change this to Advanced, Recording, and I went over this last week. Find where you save these settings so where you save the videos that you create with OBS, and browse to where you want to save these to. As well as, depending on how you're going to do this, recording format's another issue. For short videos, I switch to MP4. You'll be able to use them right away. If you have long videos and the power might go out halfway through, switch to MKV. MKV can be used if the power goes out. You might have half a video, but it can be used anyway. MP4, and you can see the warning here when I changed to MP4, that if I don't complete this video, the MP4 will be useless. For short videos that you don't have to worry about redoing, 30 seconds, 1 minute videos, MP4 is fine. Click Apply and OK. Now, those settings are saved with this profile, 1080 Training. And the scene collection I'm using is scene collection 1080. These scenes are not saved with the profiles, just the settings. So I have typically two profiles, my online meetings profile and the recording profile. I have two different sets of settings for those, depending on the purpose. If I'm recording myself for a high resolution video, I change the recording profile. If I'm doing online meetings like this, I switch to online meetings, and the settings are different. In particular, the resolution of the output of the video. So I'm going to switch back to online meetings. You see now I'm huge, and this is how big the video is because it is the larger video because I'm using a 1080 scene. I'm going to switch to my 720 scenes. And that switches back to the 720 training scene where all the settings are set to the same height, 720. And that's 1280 by 720. I think it's 1280 high. But those are the two standards these days, 720 and 1080. You can go even higher than that with 4K. 1080 is typically pretty good for most business videos. Work with your video folks if you need 4K, and they will tell you the settings to switch to. And that's the quick of how to use profiles.